Hey Glam fam, welcome back. Today we are going to be reviewing part 1 of this reunion, child. Let me just say, Andy did what needed to be done. I had a feeling he was not going to be playing around this reunion. I seen a few Watch What Happened lives with Robin and Gisele and everything, and he didn't seem too happy, so I knew he was going to be on at this reunion. So they start the episode with Gisele and Robin talking about this cheating scandal. I believe they played the clip from Reasonably Shady. And then they also played the Watch What Happened Live clip where Andy grilled her. I told y'all Bravo was pissed, okay? They wanted us to know that he did indeed cheat. So then they move on to the reunion. And per usual, Andy goes in the room to check in with the ladies before they hit the stage. And Robin and Gisele are like, nope. Not worried at all, not nervous. Yeah, I bet, because you kept your real drama off the show. So I bet you're not worried. But then Andy asked if Juan was coming. And Robin was like, no. And he was like, oh yeah, I figured.
Yes. Will we seeing Juan later today?
No, he is working.
Okay, I thought so.
So he goes to Candace's room, and Candace gives him a not today neck, ankles, and something else t-shirt.
It's a good shirt to, wear on the house.
Yeah.
Now, girl, you know Andy is not gonna wear that. Gisele is his fave. That was a fake laugh, but okay. So they finally start the reunion, and Andy asks Ashley about the status of Luke from Winter House, and we're gonna get into that a little bit later. But basically, Michael was in the way. Basically. But she did end up introducing Gisele to a friend of Luke's. So now Gisele apparently has a man. And we'll see how that goes. Then they go into Robin finally being married. And I kind of already reacted to this. I did a short of it because Karen was such a mood.
How does it feel?
Like it did before.
Okay.
No, it feels good. I mean, we've been together forever, but there is just something a little bit.
Karen had me dying at the yawn. So Andy tries to throw some shade at Candace's dress. He swore there was going to be some side-by-side Cookie Monster memes. I didn't see any. When the reunion looks dropped, nobody said anything about a Cookie Monster dress. She does not look like the Cookie Monster. I actually love the dress. Maybe he wanted Candace to get dragged, but no, we love the dresser. So then he asked about the seating chart, and he basically said that they seated people like that because they were trying to seat people together who didn't have issues, and that's typically what they try to do, but that's BS. I remember a Watch What Happens Live after the last season of Atlanta. Y'all remember last reunion where Sonya and Drew was sitting right beside each other? And Drew had like flipped her hair on her. And Candy was saying like, that could have caused a lot of problems sitting them beside each other. And Andy was basically like, well, that's what we wanted to happen.
What did you think of the seating at this year's reunion? It's been a hot topic.
I thought it was crazy because I'm like, why y'all put Sonya next to Drew?
Okay.
Y'all knew it was gonna pop off.
Well, maybe that's why we put them next to each other.
So I call BS. I think what they were trying to do was separate Gisele and Robin so that it wasn't like one side versus the other side, but at the same time maybe they were trying to keep people separate who may have issues. But I feel like that's more so what they were trying to do, separate the green-eyed bandits versus what he said. Because if you didn't want people beside each other that didn't have problems, you could have just kept the couches with the cliques. It could have been the cliques how they were in Miami. If you wanted to keep people who got along beside each other, that would have been the easiest thing to do. So then they asked Ashley about her house. She said that Michael has a key and it's for the kids. Okay, Tara. But then she talked about how that became an issue with her man Luke from Winter House because Michael had dropped the kids off a day early on his weekend. Luke had to leave because of course he hadn't met the kids yet. They were only dating for a month. She also says that Luke told her she should reinforce stricter boundaries with Michael, which is probably why they broke up. Then Ashley said she was falling in love. Girl. How you let Michael mess that up? You just gonna let Michael keep coming in the way of your happiness? I'm sure when he goes out and does his thing, you don't bother him. You definitely need to enforce some stricter boundaries. But the problem is Michael's still paying for everything. So Ashley is definitely in a tough spot right now. Then they talk about the prenup, and Ashley talks about how it didn't work out in her favor, basically because Michael pays for everything. He invested everything with his money. His name is on everything. It's all his. I mean, that makes sense to me. And she's also not allowed to get alimony, which everyone was surprised by. But I personally think those are probably the conditions with him getting her the house. Like, girl, you're not going to get the house, the alimony, and some other stuff in the prenup. Like, pick one. So I guess she picked the house. Then Andy brings up the reunion where Ashley called Candace the least accomplished, which is funny because y'all know I just reacted to Candace dragging everybody, and that clip was in there, and I talked about it, and I pretty much said the same thing Andy said, so I thought that was funny. Ashley apologized though. Candace paid it. And she brings up how, when she first got on the show and her mom was taking care of her, everybody was dragging her and talking about her. And that's true. But everybody was talking about it, honestly. I don't think Ashley was doing the most. I think the most Ashley said was when she was in y'all house and y'all had that argument. So it's not like Ashley was the main one talking about it. Then also, how many times are these two gonna have a conversation and say, we're letting go of everything? How many times are y'all gonna have that conversation? Because every time they have that conversation, one of them brings something up from the past. They will never be able to get past things if they don't stop doing that. Ashley kept it cute. She apologized again. So then we move on to Mia. Ciao. Mia had a rough reunion. So they started with the cancer scare, and she went through the whole process and how she thought it was cancer, and she was pretty much diagnosed with everything but cancer. So he asked if she's having these health issues because her body is rejecting all of this surgery, but she pretty much admits it. So then they move on to the business thing and how she's locked out, and y'all know this has already been seen by everybody because there was a sneak peek dropped. So he asked the questions that everybody wanted to know. Okay, how did you get kicked out if you told us you was the CEO? So then she finally admitted that her brother was actually part owner, and she was like, being that he's part owner, he can just kick Gordon off if he wants to. And everybody was like, yeah, it doesn't work like that, because at the end of the day, both of y'all are still owners. Y'all have to make decisions together. So then she talks about how they were voted out by the board members because they were afraid that Mia and Gordon were going to push other people out of the business. So I guess they pushed them out before they pushed other people out. That's what Mia was saying, but y'all know Mia be lying. So she also said that she has a large percentage of the company. So how are they able to just kick you out like this if you own so much of the company? Like, it don't make sense. Maybe I don't understand business because that don't make sense to me. So, it's not making sense. Of course, nobody is buying a story. She's still going on and on. So then Andy asked her how many members were on the board again. And this time she said 8. And yes, maybe she was saying that there were 4 managing members in the beginning and then 8 board members in total. But that's not what she said from jump. She keeps changing the story, and you already a liar. So you getting defensive, but it's just like you told us you don't remember things, Mia. I saw the comments, when the sneak peek came out. I was looking at the comments on Twitter, Instagram and stuff, and they were kind of divided. A lot of people were calling the ladies ignorant for laughing at her because they didn't understand business or, whatever. I don't think that was ignorance. I think it was just Mia changing her story for the 57th time, and nobody believes her. I was laughing too. When she said 8, when he asked her how many members she said, and she said 8, I was like, girl, you just said 3. But then you meant 4, and now it's 8. Like, I'm confused too. They are grilling Mia, especially Gisele. And at this point, Mia should know that Gisele is not her friend, because as a friend, why are you suggesting that I'm embezzling on national television? So then Mia goes, well, if I was stealing money, why would I go on TV? Girl, have you seen Housewives? Or reality TV for that matter. Like, that's what they do. Poor Mia, she can't catch a break, because then after that, Andy asked her about the house that she was renting in Potomac that she has now moved out of. And she admits that they are living in a penthouse off of her savings. So it sounds like they struggling a bit. I don't think they're broke. I don't think they're wanting for anything. Like, they hungry and, lights off, broke like that. But It sounds like they're running out of money. Then we move on to the Chris and Gisele debacle. They show some unseen footage where Chris DM'd Gisele after Candace's party, and he said he apologizes if he made her feel uncomfortable. But all Gisele heard was sorry. And she took that as him admitting that he did what he did. To be honest, I don't understand why Chris avoided her the entire season just to send that apology right after the filming ended. Like, I don't know, maybe he wasn't trying to give it camera time. Maybe he wasn't trying to give the story camera time, or I don't know. I don't know why he waited. Like, it's like he waited right until the season was done wrapping to apologize. I don't understand why he did that. I wouldn't have even apologized to her, to be honest. So, Gisele is trying to move forward from the situation. She done got her apology. She feels like that means that she was right, and she is ready to move on. She think everything is all good because she done got her apology, and Candace is not letting it go. Then Candace tells her that the real issue is the fact that she exaggerated the story, when she called him a sneaky link and all of that. But what I will say is, I don't know if I missed something, but Gisele did apologize like 3 times. And Candace was not trying to hear it. She kept saying, apologizing to who? Apologizing for what? When are you apologizing? Like, girl. Clearly Candace was not for the apologies today, but I have never seen Gisele apologize so much. She told Gisele to shove the apology up her you-know-what, and I can't lie. When Gisele said, would it look good up there? I chuckled. So, they're still going at it, and they're pretty much arguing about the semantics of what happened and the words that were used and the technicalities and all of that. And I agree. I am on Chris and Candace's side still. But when Candace hinted at the fact that Chris may have asked her to go into the room and talk, even if the intentions weren't there, yes, he did ask you to go to the room and talk. If that is the case, I'm not sure if that was just a hypothetical situation or not. It could be. But if that's true, that Chris did indeed ask her to go in the room and talk, why didn't he just say that? I'm with Gisele here. Like, if that's true, because I don't know. We're going to have to wait until Chris come out next week to see. But if that is true, that Chris did ask her to go to the room to talk, I agree with Gisele. Why lie about it? I'm not saying that proves her point. I'm not saying that means that he was trying to hit on her. I'm just saying, why lie about that detail? But we'll just have to wait for that to play out next week. Maybe it really didn't happen, and maybe Candace was just using that as a hypothetical situation. I don't know. We'll have to see next week. Then Robin decided to insert herself and say to Candace, but don't you see how it's weird for a married man to be with a single woman in a hotel? Now, you was defending Candace in the beginning of the season, and you said Gisele may have been exaggerating. Now here, you're agreeing that the situation was weird. You didn't find it weird that your fiance allegedly went to this single woman's, well, not single, because apparently she had a boyfriend. So you don't find that weird that your fiance went to go pay for a hotel room of a woman who had a boyfriend. You don't find that weird, though. So listen, they are on Gisele's neck. No pun intended. Gisele is crumbling a little bit. She was crumbling, she was stuttering and she couldn't do nothing but apologize. And in the words of Candace, she tries to have this all lives matter moment. And she goes, well, everybody talks about everybody's husband, but they don't take it to the extreme that Gisele does. Then they also bring up the fact that she purposely waits for the cameras to start rolling to bring this stuff up. And we kind of end there, Candace is kind of in the middle of reading her. She did make a comment about Gisele's uterus, which was unnecessary. Here we go again, Candace. Wrong road. You were doing so good. So next week we get Jacqueline with the receipt. But the gag is Mia has a bedazzled box of receipts as well. Now we didn't see that in the trailer. We get more of Robin versus Karen, and then they're going to play some unaired footage from Watch What Happens Live between Andy and Robin. I'm excited for that. Now let me know what y'all thought about the reunion. I thought it was good. Overall, this was a very strong first episode. Usually the first episode of the reunions are a little slow. They don't really get into things, but Andy got straight to it. Andy did what needed to be done. I know y'all didn't have faith in him. I know y'all had y'all doubts because the Green Eye Bandits are his favorite. But if y'all were paying attention to the Watch What Happened Lives during the season, he was clerally fed up with them. So I knew Andy wasn't going to be playing around. But y'all let me me know what y'all thought about that in the comment section down below. Stay happy, healthy, and all of that good stuff, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.